after Shark Tank, there's a very big misconception. Funding तो बहुत आसान से हो जाती है. जाओ 1% for 1 crore, 100 crores company, 1% हो गया. नहीं, it does not happen like that. December 17, I thought of this. Within 13 days, that is 1st of January, the company was formed. From then till now, we have a total reach of more than 500 million users. Back then, there was no beard at all. Whenever I go into a pitch meeting and like, ये क्या करेगा? Right?
When you start a company, how do you build a team?
One thing that you cannot take lightly is that the people that join you cannot leave you. If they leave you, either there's a problem with you or there's a problem with you. अगर आपको लगता है टीम मेंबर्स बेकार हैं, no, they're not बेकार, फिर आपने हायर क्यों किया? लेकिन अरे सर, मतलब अपने अंदर लड्डू फूटते हैं. इन्वेस्टमेंट आ रहा है, मतलब वो कह रहे हैं 5 करोड़ रुपए देंगे. Wow, 50% of the company they'll take, but चलेगा 5 करोड़ रुपए बैंक में आएगा. Wow. As an entrepreneur, you cannot sell majority of the company within a year.
Hi, my name is Avi Arya, father of 2 girls, 6 dogs, husband to a superwoman, a streetcar racer turned hotelier, then marketer and founder of Internet Moguls.
What up, Internet Moguls?
We have a format, we always say, the shortest distance between 2 human hearts is always a story. You connect with strangers through a story and then strangers are no longer strangers anymore. So before we go ahead, tell us your story. Where are you from? How did you grow up? What happened as a child? Let's take 4-5 minutes to introduce Gautam to everyone.
So, pretty interesting journey. I am basically from South India, right? I was born in Chennai, and my father was posted in the North region, and he was in a service company. And from Chennai to Lucknow to Bhopal to Ahmedabad, then finally back to Delhi. Not back to Delhi. Delhi was where my major schooling and everything was. I was doing studying in Army Public School. And what happened, and my father was not a army guy. So, but I was studious back then. When I say 7th class, so we had to write some entrance exams, and then there's only 2 civilians per year that they allow in an army school. So 7th standard was that time where I was very studious. Like if I'm wearing glasses, I'm not studious.
Okay.
This is all stress. But yeah, I mean that was the space where I actually understood the culture of North and how diverse this place is. Delhi and Army Public School gives you a very diverse background when it comes to meeting and everything. Then luckily in 12th I scored a good numbers, that is 93.75, and slowly
93.75 is good.
Yeah, sort of, because it is still not good, because if you want to get into Delhi University, the top colleges, you still need 96 and above.
वो तो आज है ना, but that time 93 was amazing.
Yeah, I mean 93 तब भी नहीं, उस टाइम पे भी 96. अच्छा, ऐसा कुछ नहीं. 99 SRCC was still 99 percentile. 98
really?
Wow. So it was that competitive, and this is I'm talking 2014, right? So I am 25 at the moment, right? And right now from there, we've built I was doing a startup called GoDutch, and it still exists, but it is now in the hands of some good wise people. But yeah, I mean, I did that platform in 2016 as a fintech startup, and I'm from a commerce background without maths, so I'm not good with maths, or I'm not neither good with finance. But I still did the platform, which was very early in terms of crowdfunding as a platform. Was very early for India in 2016. So my major learning was, even though the idea is so good, everything has its own time, and you have to launch the product at the right time. So I think a platform like GoDutch was too early for the market. 2015 was too early for India to adapt. That was a time where Paytm was just getting submerged in the Indian mindset, how to do digital payments and everything. So eventually, what happened? It was a failure. Then I came into the event space with one of my mentors, and he gave me a chance that, hey, let's do this. And he gave me a thought process that, don't worry, I'll not pay you for the next 4 months. I'll pay you 1,000 or 2,000 rupees per month. But I'll give you an opportunity where you can lead this entire conference. And because I was an ISEC, I know if most of the people know ISEC pretty much. I think you should know. ISEC is a youth run organization which gave me the confidence during the college days how to speak. So before 12th class, I could not even speak a single word of English. So
Really? Oh wow.
today I try, but it's still much better than my 12th standard or before 12th. So having said that, with ISEC, my exposure to the international space was very much prominent there because I was interacting with international students, international clients, so on and so forth. So ISEC is basically a youth organization which does youth exchanges, internship. Right. So I was in the corporate sector where I was bringing people from abroad to India to do internships in India. So even today I have like friends from more than 30-40 countries.
Lovely.
So what happened in this conference, it was an international conference, and then we sort of asked them to, hey, so I was leading this, so I was making the agenda, making the lineup of speakers, how to structure the organization, how to structure the conference, how to bring brands. So everything was like was a major learning process. And luckily we delivered 3,500 students in 4 months from more than 25 countries. But what kicked to start Mad Influence was that time, December 17, 2017. That is where I realized that, so December 16th is when the event finished, right? It was a 3-day event, 13 to 16. And 17, once you do an event, the next day it's all blank. There is nothing to do, right? You're like, all your 4 months or 5 months of effort is just delivered, and now you have nothing to do. Technically, you have nothing to do. And the money that I've earned is hardly, I think, 4 or 5 grand the last 4 months. But the experience was more than millions. Right? It was a massive experience. So what I understood was in those 4 months that if I could mobilize 3,000 to 3,500 delegates from one country to a city like Delhi, and even though I give them free accommodation and free delegate pass, free entry pass, even then I was able to mobilize, at least if I'm not wrong, each candidate would have spent 50 grand either for their flights, or say they wanted to buy some alcohol, or they wanted to buy some burgers or something like that. At least each person would have spent 50,000 rupees, right? And that being said, I realized that, hey, that is something that if I have mobilized 50,000 into 3,500 people, that is the amount of money that I've mobilized for some of the other economies. Some of the other person has got that money, right? And that's because of the lineup of 10 speakers that I did. That includes your Shinzo Abe's brother, Shri Ravi Shankar, and so on and so forth. SoftBank's chairman, the president of India, SoftBank president who handles the Indian market, and so on and so forth. 10 influential speakers, and we got so many people. So that was the idea where, hey, why not? It's a mad idea where what if I create a line of 10,000 people like this, and I can mobilize any brand's image with just a click of a button. So December 17, I thought of this. Within 13 days, that is 1st of January, the company was formed, and we launched the company on 1st of January 2018. So from then till now, we have a total reach of more than 500 million users. That is digital users, right? In terms of this includes all sorts of platforms. We are in Delhi, Bombay, and Dubai. We handle majorly. We have promoted over, I think, 500 campaigns for movies, and I think on a yearly basis we do around 300 to 350 campaigns. So that's basically what we do as a company. And that's basically our journey.
You're doing 500 campaigns for major movies. Every campaign is approximately what value?
Average is about, say, 10 to 20 lakhs.
10 to 20 lakhs. So this multi-million-dollar thing you're doing, and how old are you, did you say?
25.
Awesome. Guys, can we give it up for Gautam so far with this story? At 25, I think that's quite an achievement. अगर थोड़े साल पहले इंग्लिश बोलनी नहीं आती थी तो काफी आगे पहुंच गए आप बहुत जल्दी.
नहीं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. I think it is we just entered the right time, and like the difference between this startup and the previous startup was just the difference of time. And that's the time is, I think, one of the biggest learning that I personally feel is making a lot of sense, because हर चीज का वक्त होता है. अब वक्त के आगे, right? Waqt is something, time is something that you cannot go and fight with time, and everything has its own time. So if people are thinking that, hey, let me do this now, go forward, go with it. There is no wrong time or right time. You just need to make your own time.
Right. So sometimes if it's early, so मतलब मैं इससे क्या मैं समझूं? अगर कोई product, if I'm doing a business, we have 83 entrepreneurs over here, small and medium sized entrepreneurs. अगर हम कोई business कर रहे हैं, you keep on revising it, making the product better and everything, and हर product का एक अच्छा एक by the time it gets, the market changes, your product changes, and maybe it's not a fit right now, but slowly there will be a fit in the coming days. So keep working on the product. Is that your message?
Yes, absolutely. Like, I think the first one that as Godash, what I did was, because I did not have funds, right? Even with this current company, I started with a lakh rupee fund. 1 lakh rupee fund is what I took as a loan. And, but this is more of an agency model, and that one was more of a product model. But the difference, the similarity between both these things is that it was something that you were passionate about, number one, right? You were trying to solve a problem. In Godash, it was majorly about how to solve the problem of going out and touching between friends, right? And that was a very big problem during my college days. Like, har bolta tha, like, hey, give me $100, I'll pay later, and all those things came in. But it was too early for that market. But if I had funds, or if I had something, but if is not the right thing, right? I gave up. I genuinely gave up, right? But there was another door that got opened. What we say, if there's one door shut, there's another door that open automatically. But we just need to realize when and how, right? And which is the right door. And I think during that time, there were multiple things that came to my mind. Like, I got an internship for 25,000. I got asked from my friend that, hey, join my startup, I'll give you 25-30 grand. But I still chose a job which was 1,500 rupees as a stipend, right? That was just because I think, and if I did not take up that, if I was about money, hey, no, I'm going to take up that 25,000 thing. And what is the difference? Like, 25,000 and 1,500 is way too different, right? Like, you don't, and you for sure know after 4 months, there's nothing going to happen. There's nothing called future after this, because this event is once in 3 years, right? So after this, there is the next event is going to happen after 3 years. So it was very clear from my mentor's side that, dude, after this, don't expect that you will come back and join my organization. No, he was very clear that this is something that you will get an exposure of management and marketing and branding, but don't expect that you will get a job here or you will get something here, right? It was very clear. But for me, it was very clear that if I do this, the kind of exposure that I will get is something which is probably an MBA will also not teach me. And with that humbleness and seriousness, I went through that, and eventually within 24 hours, it came to my mind, December 16 and December 17, and it's also about time, right? Agar December 17, once I realized, within 13 days, I started Mad Influence, right? And today we're pretty a good 100 crore plus company. And that being said, it brings down to just one point, that is, and in the early stage, it was all about, like, when I started, I was 21 was when I started. So when I go into the meetings, even today, I don't get beard like you, but I still get a little. Back then, there was no beard at all, right? So whenever I go into a pitch meeting and like, ye kya karega, right? Tu kya bolega, right? So, and influencer marketing was not a thing even in 2018 when I started. People were like, why this? Why should I do this? I already have SEO. I already have blogs, Facebook ads. Facebook was a thing in 2018. Why should I go on Instagram and use your influencers to promote this? Luckily, because of that event, I got one of the delegates as my client. I pitched him. I said, I'll work for you 20 grand a month, and then that 20 grand became 50 grand, and 50 grand became 1 lakh. Within 3 months, we were profitable. And suddenly, because we were servicing so well, he then introduced us to 10 other people, and then the cycle went so on and so forth. So
lovely.
Yeah.
So Gautam, you're saying there was a clear understanding that there are 3 choices that you have in your hand. One was 25,000 rupees as internship, one was 30,000 rupees as working for somebody, and then the other one was 2,000 rupees a month, but with massive learning.
Yeah.
And uske baad koi future nahi tha, yahan future dekh raha tha, but you chose the learning, and that learning decision made you took the learning decision the day the 16th का event happened. और जब तक आपने वो event deliver किया, in 24 hours जब वो event खत्म हुआ, you had that learning and you had a business plan in your head, which has now taken you in 4 years to become a 100 crore company.
Yeah.
Awesome. Guys, once again, I think he deserves a few fire emojis in the chat for making this happen in 4 years to 100 crores at age 25. It's amazing. If somebody else ever tells you कि you don't have a beard, तो आप मेरे को मीटिंग में साथ ले जाना, I'll come with you.
अब तो क्या कहते हैं, मैं अपने टीम, all my team members are elder to me. All my business head is he's I think 35, 36. तो ऐसी मीटिंग्स में जो आप वो लोग पहले मैं उनको आगे बोलता भाई आप आगे जाओ, मैं आप ही करो मीटिंग, जहाँ पे वो ओल्ड स्कूल क्या कहते हैं क्लाइंट्स जो होते हैं, business on the face value, right? And then he's the front end, and then once I during the meeting when we start talking, then they don't really care who you are because they know that
you can deliver. Right. Awesome. So tell us, because here we are a team of small and medium-sized entrepreneurs. Many people have just started a business. Many people are started about a year ago. We have been talking about the importance of building teams and not going solo. So team building, some people are hiring virtual assistants now, some people are hiring secretaries, some people are hiring co-founders, partners, directors, or the first round of team members. Because शुरू में business में ज़्यादातर लोग क्या करते हैं कि business शुरू हुआ, अब शुरू में 2-3 साल मैं खुद से करूंगा सब कुछ, और कुछ हो नहीं पाता, कुछ growth हो नहीं पाती. So what would be your message to all the people over here on how when you start a company, how do you build a team?
First is the people that you trust, right? That is, I think you cannot go and say that, hey, I'm gonna work with the MBA, I'll go and go on internship, I'll go on LinkedIn and hire 10 people. Like, this is for the people that don't have their father's or mother's money. This is the people who are going to, I'm talking bootstrap format.
Sure.
Right? That is, you need to be very prudent in the funds that you have. And with that, when you, the first team is your circle. The first team, it could be a college. I don't know what's the age group that we have
so
here.
Age group is 30 to 60.
Okay, so I think it will be the colleagues then, right? The colleagues that they have previously worked with. And building a co-founder is very important, but I was lucky not to have a co-founder, right? So this, but most of the spaces, I feel that if there was a co-founder, the success would have been faster, because you don't do everything by yourself, right? And that being said, the first circle of team members is definitely your previous colleagues. Second is, I think, if you don't want co-founders, it's very important that you incentivize your team members with the vision that yes, ESOPs is super,
right,
and future growth. If they don't believe in your product, and you can get I am Ahmedabad guy just to work with you for 25 grand. I have known people, and I know people who are working I am Ahmedabad guys with 25,000-30,000 salary in the initial space. Because again, they know that this company is going to grow like a unicorn, and we'll work it out once the ESOPs turn into cash. So I think, that's my take in.
So reaching out. So if I'm a small company, I don't have people. So, and I find that there are some of my colleagues, or I know some people, and right now I don't have the funds. Like you said, people are getting people from IIM Ahmedabad also to join them because they have a mission. So the idea then as an entrepreneur for me is to go and sell my vision on the phone or in a meeting and say, hey, join me because this is what I'm doing. See, right now I don't have the funds, but in 3 years time, we're going to go from here to there. We're going to build a partnership. You're going to become a partner, associate director, co-founder, whatever it is. So sell the vision of the company, show the business plan, and that's how you start attracting talent. You can't just throw money because you don't have the money. And if you have less money, so you're going to give 15,000-20,000 rupees for inexperienced people. Right. Rather than that, get smart, solid people and sell them the vision.
Right. Absolutely.
Awesome. Now comes to the social media and the marketing part. So just explain to our audience, what are you doing today with influencer marketing and NFTs? Like a lot of people don't even, rap doesn't even get into their heads. What is all of this when it's put together? Social media, influencer marketing and NFTs?
So I'll come to the NFT part a little later.
Sure.
First is the bread and butter where we started. It is influencer marketing and celebrity business, right? So what we primarily do is we're a middleman agency, right? We're an agency that serves 360-degree for a brand, right? The brand could be say a Imami or a PNG, or the brand could be a T-Series or a Sony TV, right? So what we primarily do is we take over their brief and we create the entire strategy, social media strategy, and we connect we do media buying for them. When I say media buying, it is the YouTube ads, Facebook ads, SEO, the publisher ads, and all the banners you see on Pink Villa, Times of India.
Okay.
That is media buying. Second is what we do is content strategizing and production. So we have our own in-house team, and then the content team strategizes how a brand should benefit, and if there's Diwali or if there's Holi, what should be the strategy that should go out on social media. And we connect this with influencers, right? So the influencers are categorized between nano, micro, macro, and mega, right? So micro and nano are the smaller influencers, which nano is around 10,000 followers, micro is around 100,000 plus, macro is 1 million plus, and mega is say 10 million plus, right? And then there is celebrities, right? So we kind of have a network of more than 10,000 influencers at the moment with and plus 150 million meme pages. We have meme pages also, right? Yukiapa and all these. There are many meme pages that are out there. So we own certain meme pages ourselves. When I say own, we handle their backend. Then we have our own talents. We have exclusive talents as we manage them from their end-to-end solution is what we give them. For the influencer space, bringing them brand and taking care of their transportation, what they wear, their makeup, their food, everything, right? So for a brand, what we do is we completely structure the 360-degree marketing plan. And then we seed in as per the things. If they want media buying, we give them media buying. If they want influencers, we give influencers. If they want celebrities, we give them celebrities. But what is the advantage, the most advantageous thing in this is that this is like a one-stop shop, right?
Right.
They to work with 10 agencies to get 10 different things. This gets them one place, gets them everything when it comes to marketing.
Lovely. So in the influencer space, like for small and again, हमारे जो entrepreneurs आज हमारे साथ हैं, they're mostly small and medium businesses. And you said that there are nano influencers as well. Now, if somebody here in the audience wants to launch a brand, and many of them are coaches, consultants, or digital marketers, and they're small 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 member teams, how should they use influencer marketing, or is it only for the big guys?
If I want to be very honest, it is for the big guys.
Okay.
Because with small spends of budgets, you cannot expect a great result. But for newer startups, instead of going with the macro influencers, the micro and the nano influencers work really brilliant, right?
Right.
For example, there is this brand that I'm working with. It's called Shopper TV, right? And they've just launched, and they're a Y Combinator approved startup. And for the people who don't know Y Combinator, it's an accelerator based out of US. So what their objective is there. So what we're giving them is streamers who can go on their app and stream to buy e-commerce. Like we used to buy Home Shop 18 or used to watch Home Shop 18. It's basically Home Shop 18 on a mobile phone, right? Like format. Now, what is working well for them is surprisingly, they are spending not a huge amount, but the nano and the micro influencers are able to bring loyal customers. Why? Because, for example, if I don't know how many followers the major of the audiences have, but if we talk about a person with 5,000 followers, I as a person will know majority of those 5,000 people. If not 5,000 people, at least 1,000 people will know me personally.
Right.
And my influence over those 1,000 people will be very strong. Right. And the ability to move these 1,000 people to do some transaction is much higher versus a person with 1 million followers.
Because he doesn't know those people personally.
But that happens for that's not only the case, but then influencer marketing can prove a brilliant marketing effort for smaller businesses, but only by using nano and micro influencers, because the macro guys cost a bomb.
So nano influencer people under 5,000, what's the approximate ballpark? How much do they charge per post, per story?
Category to category, I think between 5,000, you can start from 1,000 rupees also. It can start from 1,000 rupees, it can go up till say 10,000, 15,000 rupees per post, per post. Right, but it depends how there's one concept called barter deals, wherein the brand says that, hey, I will send you my beauty products, you review them, you don't send it back, you keep it with yourself. Instead, a review from me, right? But you cannot just rely on influencer marketing. That's the major thing, because you have to do a 360 degree. You have to do media, you have to do SEO, you have to make sure the graphics are right, you need to make sure the video is right, you need to make sure your social media, your own social media page is talking the right content that your influencers are talking. There cannot be two different communications. If the influencer is talking, this product is green, you cannot say blue is best, right? So during that time, green is the best, because influencers are going to talk about the green product is the best product of this brand. And that time you should also be talking that, hey, this product is the best because this is how it is. And influencers also give you the confidence, vote of confidence, a testimonial, right? But in a very subtle manner. Not like, hey, this is a nice product, go buy it. Influencer marketing does not do that. Good influencer marketing does not do that. A good influencer marketing is where they blend the product or the service in their lifestyle. Right? That's the best way of integration, because audiences are very smart. We don't want to have a big logo or a on-the-face marketing. For that, you already have TV ads, right? For that, and even now, TV ads are also being very creative these days. If you see the cred ads, right? These are very, very creative these days. So brands are also realizing that on-the-face marketing is not the right marketing.
Lovely. So Gautam, all this, my next question is, growing a business in 4 years as a startup, what is the one thing, or let me say, what are the 3 things that you will say I will never repeat again? Avi, I made the biggest mistake. ये 3 चीजें मैं कभी नहीं करूंगा, और please आप लोग भी कभी मत करना. What would be that message to everyone?
I think choosing the right team, right? Never hire to fire. That's the first thing that I've learned, that if you because I don't know, I was listening to the meditation very, very, very closely, what happened before this session. I think one of the major things was that you should be there is not only the person who's working with you, but also their families working with you. They are behind you, right? And one thing that you cannot take lightly is that the people that join you cannot leave you. If they leave you, either there's a problem with you, right? Or there's a problem with you. That's it, right? So it is not, अगर आपको लगता है team members बेकार हैं, no, they're not बेकार, फिर आपने hire क्यों किया?
Love it.
अगर आपने वो किया है, then why did you hire them when आपको लग रहा है ये तो काम ही नहीं कर रहा, ये तो सही नहीं है, तो आपने hire क्यों किया? Right? So I think in the initial space, I was very kiddish and I was very proud about it. अरे एक हफ्ते में निकाल दिया, अरे एक महीने में निकाल दिया, right? And till now, my retention rate is 95%. And people who have left are fired, right? But अभी का reason बहुत अलग है versus तब का reason, right? Right now, the firing is on the basis of ethical issues. पहले performance, मुझे पहले महीने में performance चाहिए, पहले हफ्ते में performance चाहिए. No, it does not work like that. The employee cannot love the brand or the company more than you. You cannot expect them to work the same way as you do. Right? And it will happen, but it will take time. That takes time. It is a startup. For them to believe in your vision, it takes time. It cannot happen in the next 24 or say even 24 months. It takes time. So let it give time. So for that, I think that's the first thing. Second is if you think that your company is doing good, never open up your finances to an investor. Right? I think one of the crazy thing happened in 2019 was that 2019, 2020 हर साल होता है हमारे साथ, but 2019 में मैं सीख गया. हर साल हमारे पास investors आते हैं and say hey, this is the thing, but अब तो अकल आ गई है. 2019 अरे सर अपने अंदर लड्डू फूटते हैं, अरे इन्वेस्टमेंट आ रहा है, वो कह रहे हैं 5 करोड़ रुपए देंगे, वाओ 50% of the company they'll take, but चलेगा 5 करोड़ रुपए बैंक में आएगा, वाओ that's a big deal. पिछले साल तो मैं 10 लाख भी नहीं देखे थे, आज 5 करोड़ देख रहे हैं. you forget that you've worked hard for it. And you open up all your books in front of that investor, that what happens is either he will end up taking your finances. He will not create it because he's an investor. Investor does not want to create himself. He will give that to another startup where he was about to invest in. Bhai, ye log ye kar rahe, tu bhi ye kar. Ye inke major clients hai, ye in kar. First, second, वो invest नहीं करेगा and all your effort and time goes to vain. Right? And you cannot sell your 50% of the company in the first go. That's the biggest thing. If you have built that company as an entrepreneur, you cannot sell majority of the company within a year. Either you sell 100% and move on and go for the next ball game altogether, or you don't sell at all.
Right.
You cannot, I think after Shark Tank, there's a very big misconception. Funding तो बहुत आसान से हो जाती है. जाओ 1% for 1 crore, 100% company, 1% हो गया. नहीं, it does not happen like that. It is a process by itself. It is what it is. And if you're doing good, never question your own effort. Here, will I be able to do it? Yes, you will be. I personally feel debt is better than investment.
Right.
You're gonna grow 10x. आप 10% interest लेके you just take up the loan and do that. So second point to summarize is never open up too much to the investors, because that's a way. And adding to this, there's a way that make the investor your friend, because the investor has got 10 other similar brands that he's working, and they could be your potential clients. Right, so I was after 2019, after making this video, 2020, जितने भी investors आते हैं मैं उल्टा करता हूँ. सर आपके 10 investors है ना, उनको मेरे client कर दो. I will give the service. अगर अच्छा लगा, then we'll talk about it. So that investor ends up bringing me revenue instead of there's a when an investor tells a Swiggy or Zomato that hey, work with these guys, right? The Swiggy does not have an option. Swiggy क्या बोल रहा है, इन्वेस्टर बोल रहा है तो अच्छा करना पड़ेगा. There's no background verification, there's nothing. Straight up first brief and the campaign starts, and then you don't have to dilute any revenue, but also at the same time you get dilute any equity and you start getting revenue. So I think second thing. Third is in terms of mistakes that I would never want to do is you cannot be the same person as you are with your friends. I think this is a very 25-year-old-ish guy talking.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Because what happens is because all my friends are not in the business space or the startup space, right? So I'm a very different person when I'm with them, right? But what happens is eventually, I learned this very early when somebody said कि भाई क्या बचपन है, right? And this could be by any means, right? So you have to be very professional, and you cannot reveal your childish side, or you cannot reveal your side that your personal. There has to be two different characters of yourself, and I'm not saying you have to be fake. I'm just saying that you need to know how you should be at a professional event versus a private event versus a school event or a friendship event, right? So that your personality has to change. As simple as even for example, if I go for a party, I don't wear these glasses. This is during this is the basics thing, right? If I go to a party, I will wear a white swanky like a party wear glasses, because the mood and the entire attire changes. So it is basics. Those are the basics. Not only the clothes, every aspect of it is different from the place you are.